Hey y'all, it's Stacy with SouthernBite.com. Today we are in the kitchen making a Thanksgiving favorite. It's my recipe for ultimate green bean casserole. Now, if you are a fan of the flavors of classic green bean casserole, you're gonna love this because we're gonna amp that up even more. We're gonna add some bacon, some cheese. Y'all, this is so delicious. We're gonna start with our bacon. I've cooked 6 pieces of bacon here. We're just going to remove this and drain it on some paper towels. Now, depending on how fatty your bacon is, you may need to drain some of the grease away. We're going to use that grease to cook our other ingredients, but we only need about 2 tablespoons of grease. I think we're good here, so we don't have to worry with draining that away, but if you do have more, you want to do that. To this, we're going to add about 1/2 of an onion that I've finely diced. A white or a yellow onion will work fine. We're going to get some color on this, cook it down a little bit. We're going to let this cook until it's translucent. That'll take 3 to 5 minutes depending on how hot your pan is there. All right, while that works, I've got what's going to be about 1.5 cups of mushrooms that I've sliced here. These are just your standard run-of-the-mill white button mushrooms. We're going to add them right into our pan here. Now, something I'm always guilty of is standing here and stirring the pot, right? Just constantly moving things around. Well, what happens when you do that is you don't allow things to have enough contact with the heat surface and get that nice golden brown color. So with something like mushrooms, we really want to develop that flavor. So put them in there, make sure they're nice and pressed down against that cast iron surface, and then leave it alone. We're just going to walk away and let those get nice and golden brown. While that's happening, I'm going to come right over here and chop our bacon. Now, if you want, you can crumble with your hands, but this seems to be a faster method for me, so I just throw it right up here on my chopping block and just cut this up into pieces. We're just going to pop this back into the dish once everything is combined, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get it chopped in smaller bite-sized pieces. All right, we're going to stir this a few times and allow that color to develop on the mushrooms, allow all this to cook down a little bit. And when that's done, we're going to add our garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic here that we're going to add. Now, the thing about garlic is garlic has a tendency to burn really easily. And when garlic burns, it gets this nasty bitter flavor. So we want to try to minimize that. So I always suggest that you only cook garlic in a pan this hot for about 1 minute. That's all the time that you need. We just want to release that flavor, allow some of that garlic oil to penetrate the other ingredients that are there in your dish, and make sure that we don't burn it and mess that flavor up. All right, now we're going to add our classic ingredient in green bean casserole, cream of mushroom soup. We're going to add 2 cans because we're making a big casserole today. We're going to be feeding lots of folks. So I've got 2 cans of the cream of mushroom soup here. Just going to stir that in. Get all that combined. To this, we're going to add our bacon back in. There we go. Add our bacon right here. Stir that all together. Now next, for our amped up version, we're going to add in 1 cup of Monterey Jack cheese. This is just shredded Monterey Jack cheese straight out of the bag. You know, if you're feeling energetic and want to shred your own cheese, you go right ahead. But for this recipe, just the stuff in the bag already shredded saves you a step and it'll work just fine. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of milk here. Stir this together. This creates that wonderful sauce that green bean casserole is known for, and we're going to add that cheesy element that's just going to make it even better. All right, to this we're going to add our green beans. Now, I have 4 cans of green beans that I've drained here. If you have fresh green beans, what you probably want to do is chop those roughly and blanch them for just a few minutes because we want to get a little cook on those before we add them straight in. You may be one of those people that loves super firm, crispy green beans, and if that's the case, you don't have to cook them at all. Chop them and put them right in here. They'll cook a little bit through once they're in the oven. We've got an escapee here. We're going to fold these in. Look at the cheese, guys. See? This dish is just one of those, in fact, it's one of the most popular recipes on the blog every year at Thanksgiving because it's just a fun and delicious way to dress up, you know, the standard green bean casserole that people always expect. Throw in some bacon and some cheese and some extra mushrooms in there. Just a great way to add a little bit additional flavor. Now I've got my oven preheated here to 350 degrees and I've got a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. Here, let me grab a towel to hold that. We're going to spread this right into our casserole dish. We're going to be sure to make the biggest mess possible because if the rule at your house is like it is at our house, whoever cooks doesn't have to clean. Look at the cheese, see? Look at this. All right. Now, on top, we're going to go with the classic green bean casserole topping. Some fried onions. We're going to use about 1.5 cups of fried onions to top this dish because who can resist these? Jack will find these in the cabinet and eat them just like chips. We love them. All right, folks, that's it. We've made green bean casserole. We're going to pop this in the preheated oven for about 30 minutes till it's nice and golden bubbly, and you've made green bean casserole. Folks, remember, you can find this recipe and hundreds more on my website at southernbite.com. Y'all enjoy.